In this video, we're going to create a key guard to fit this app here, TouchChat, with a particular configuration of tiles that are in a grid of 3 rows and 5 columns. The message bar at the top is about 10 millimeters high, followed by a menu bar that is about 6 millimeters high. And there's no gap between the tiles and the edges of the screen or the bottom edge of the menu bar. So we don't have to worry about any padding in this case. Also, there's no lower menu bar or message bar, only the items at the top. So let's see how we would do this using our keyguard.scad. And by the way, we're doing this for an iPad mini, which will be used in landscape mode. Let me push this guy out a bit so I can see him well. Tablet is iPad mini. I'm going to use it in landscape mode. I'm going to uncover the home button and the camera. There's no tablet case, so I'm not even going to bother with this. Remember, we had an upper message bar height of 10 millimeters. And we had a upper command bar height of 6 millimeters. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to expose the message bar, but not the menu bar. So display upper message bar, yes, I want to do that. There's no padding necessary. There are no lower bars of any kind, so all I have to do is leave their height at 0. I'm not going to display the upper command bar, but I still need to account for it, the space that it takes up on the screen, because we can't have the tiles running into this area. Go down to grid layout, and let's see, we said 5 columns, so we'll take that up 1. We already have it set at 3 rows. Now I just want to show you what changing the width and other things associated with the rails looks like. So I can increase the width of the rails, make them very wide. When I do that, I'm also reducing the what I can see of each tile. So if there were an image in here or some words in here, I might be covering that image up to some degree, or covering the words associated with the image, covering that up. So I just have to be careful that I don't do that too much. On the other hand, a very narrow rail has some other issues. Strength really isn't one of them. These rails are very strong and can stand up to a lot. But let's play with the rail slope. Right now the rail slope is 60 degrees, so if I looked at this at an angle, this is a 60-degree angle coming down here. And I can reduce this angle to, say, 45. So now it's a 45-degree angle. Let's get that angle here a little more visible. So it's a gentler slope down to the surface of the tile. But now I've limited myself because I have a narrow width and a gentle slope. I've limited how high the rail can get. And I'll change the rail height, but there's also, it shows me down here that my rail height, because of the angle and width of the slope, the angle of the slope and the width of the rail, my actual rail height is 3 millimeters right now. Well, my preferred rail height is 5, so clearly it's not paying any attention to that, and it can't because of the geometry of the rail. I can make this as big as I want. It won't make any difference. So I've changed the preferred height to 15. It's not affecting the rail at all. But I can take it down to 2 and it will affect the rail. Not a lot. Only took a millimeter off the height of the rail, so it's not really that visible. Where we're going to see this have an impact is instead when we make the rail slope much steeper. So let's make the slope, oh, I don't know, 75 degrees. And there's always a little ridge on top, about a 0.5 millimeter taller ridge. And that's just to keep these edges less abrupt. And so it's just a technique for kind of rounding these edges to the degree possible. But now I can control the rail height quite a bit. I can take this guy up to 7 if I want. And my actual rail height down here is 7.5. Probably take it up even higher. I can see I still have a little bit more to work with maybe. Let's take it up to 9. Hey, I've got a keyguard that is now 9.5 millimeters thick. That's very thick. But it gives you, I suppose, a good distance between the top surface of the keyguard and the tablet if the user needed to rest his hand or her hand on the top of the keyguard and be sure not to make contact with the tiles. Anyway, that's to show you that slope has a big impact. Back to 45 again, you'll see this drop back down to 3. That's all it can accomplish with a rail width of 5. If I make the rail width wider, I'm up to 4 now as the rail height. Let's make it even wider. Oh, where's my width? Right here. Make it even wider, 10 wide. And my rail height keeps getting larger and larger. I'm up to 5.5. I'm still not anywhere near the preferred height of 9. So that's a long story about rail height and slope and how they relate to each other. But let's go back to 60. And our width of 5 and preferred height 5, but I know we're going to get somewhere around 5 down here, but not a full 5. So this is what our keyguard will look like when printed out, based on our choice of parameters and options and their values.